John Madden Football. Arguably the most beloved sports game in the world, Madden games are popular for a reason. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Madden is bad now. There are plenty of other people on YouTube doing that, but even hardcore fans have to admit that Madden's franchise mode has taken some serious hits over the past 20 years. The amount of stuff that you could do on PS2 Madden games and can't do anymore on the PS4 is actually alarming. I could fill probably 4 or 5 lists like this with things they took out just of franchise mode alone. Tony Bruno doesn't even make this list, and that's not even taking into account other game modes and features, such as the coin toss. Anyway, please know that this list is not meant to attack Madden developers who work under strict guidelines and tight deadlines to produce the product that EA Sports wants. This is just a hopefully unbiased look at what Madden used to be 20 years ago and what it could maybe one day be again in the future. We are Operation Sports, I'm Matthew Ederer, and these are the top 5 features removed from Madden franchise mode. Number 5. Player retirement screen. This is a small thing, but it's kind of wild that they don't even have this in there anymore. So in old Madden games, and in every other sports game with a franchise mode ever in the history of planet Earth, the game will show you who retires from the league in a nice little convenient pop-up window. In current Madden games, they don't. You have to go into each individual team's off-season transactions to see who retired, which disappears as soon as the next season starts. Again, it's a very small thing, but it just kind of takes you out of the league to be like, where's Tom Brady? Oh, oops, guess he retired randomly. Again, not the biggest deal, just stunned as to how it's not actually in the game anymore. In general, Madden's menus have gotten pretty bad, which is a weird thing to complain about, I'll admit, menus, but they don't even track playoff stats anymore. This seems relevant. Number 4. Play any CPU versus CPU game. In the old head days, you could play any and every game you wanted in franchise mode. Want to play the Super Bowl if you didn't make it? Go for it. Want to try out that number 1 overall pick QB with his new team in the preseason? Go for it. Want to play the Pro Bowl? Your prerogative. In current franchise mode, you're married to your selected team and can only play games that they're involved in. See, the option to play any game in franchise, including the Pro Bowl, helped to really open the mode up as though you were actually part of a living, breathing football league. You can't necessarily fault only Madden for this one. Some games, such as NBA 2K, let you play the computer games, and some games, such as the NHL series, do not. But as a rule, the ones that do are significantly better. And especially with football, with such dramatic roster turnover year to year, it's really fun to jump into a different team and check out their schemes, check out their players, playbooks, etc. Number 3. Create a jersey and expanded relocation options. Madden games used to feature a create a jersey option and dozens more options for team relocation. You could put a team in each of the 50 states, Puerto Rico, Mexico, and most of the Canadian provinces. Want to move the Dallas Cowboys to Bismarck, North Dakota? Want to move the New England Patriots to Charleston, West Virginia? Not sure why you would ever want to do that in a million years, but hey, knock yourself out. Current Madden games offer a much smaller number of relocation cities, no smaller states, no smaller provinces, no Puerto Rico, and they've had the same small selection of stock jerseys available as options unchanged since about Madden 13. They don't even have Las Vegas as an option, which is crazy, seeing as a team just moved to Las Vegas. There are conflicting reports as to why the created jersey feature has been removed. The long-standing rumor has been that the NFL stopped EA Sports from allowing players to customize their jerseys somehow, while EA developers have actually been interviewed saying that nothing like that was ever actually said from the NFL. So I personally lean toward it being an EA decision. It doesn't really matter why it's gone though, it just sucks that it's gone. Number 2. Coaching staff. Madden games used to feature much deeper coaching staffs, where players could hire an offensive, defensive, and special teams coordinator, each with their own coaching styles and stats. Coaching free agents were made up of actual unemployed NFL coaches and coordinators, and retired players would also eventually become coaches. In current games, you only get to hire a head coach, and retired players don't ever become coaches. This is a really big one for football immersion. Every single year there are significant changes to coaching staffs, oftentimes in the middle of the season, and so many NFL coaches used to be former players. Madden had this idea down pat in their franchise mode 15 years ago. It really sucks that it's not in there anymore. I assure you, nothing on earth was funnier than having Brett Favre take over as head coach of the Green Bay Packers to lead Aaron Rodgers to the promised land. Number 1. Rookie drills and training camp. The absolute best part of the older Madden games was the level of control that you had over your rookie development. Starting in the offseason, you could play the Senior Bowl if you wanted, and then you could run players through a number of drills. The higher the difficulty of the drill, the greater potential that the player had. And if you were successful in the drill, you would unlock a little scouting report on the player. But even if you weren't successful, you were once again able to actually use the player in the game and get a sense for how they played on the field. Similar to the draft combine drills, the biggest thing missing from current Madden games, in my humble opinion, are the training camp drills. Before the season, players were able to take part in training camp, running selected players on their team through different drills, which improved their ratings in a specific category or a number of categories. This gave Madden some true RPG elements, and gave you, as coach GM of your team, a true sense of control over your team's destiny. You could take over a bad team, and through drills, hiring the right coaching staff, and your on-field performance, you could actually affect your players' overall ratings and make your team better in your own image. The current Madden XP system is similar in spirit to this, but it's very linear and rigid. There's not a lot of fun factor to just assigning random players random XP. Not only did older Maddens have a system in place that made total sense, but it was actually a lot of fun to play. And that's all this video is. This is just a tribute to when Madden was, in my opinion, its most fun. That's going to do it for us today at Operation Sports, but if you like this video, be sure to click subscribe and that upwards facing thumb, and keep it locked here for more old school vidget gaming action that's too hot to handle and too cold to hold. Or something. My name's Matthew Ederer. Hit me up on the various social media platforms at Matt Ederer, unless you're a steaming mad Madden stan, at which point I will kindly ask you to not hit me up on social media. Thanks for watching, everybody.